Welcome everybody to Extreme Off-Road Silly Bills, and today we're dealing with the 2021 Rimac Nevera. Now it still has its standard power output, so 1,893 horsepower, 1,739 pounds-feet of torque, from its 4 liquid-cooled permanent magnetic electric motors, so synchronous electric motors in fact, and they're powered by 120 kilowatt-hour batteries. So yeah, that's still the same. But what isn't the same is the fact that it now weighs 3,930 pounds. Not as little as it weighed in How Fast Will It Go, but still a lot less than it weighs in its stock form. And it can now do 0 to 60 in 2.095 seconds, 0 to 104.643 seconds, and going to a top speed of 254 miles an hour. Both of those and the top speed are slower than it was in stock form as well. But it does now have off-road tyres and off-road suspension to go with its all-wheel drive, so it's definitely going to be capable off-road. But as you can see by the stats, the handling isn't the greatest, but everything else is pretty top-notch in terms of how the stats look. So yeah, let's hope the all-wheel drive system can keep everything in check, and yeah, see if this electric hypercar can deal with the rough stuff in any meaningful way. So the fastest electric vehicle we've had on this series so far has still been the Lotus Evija, with one of the Extreme E vehicles less than a second behind that. So hopefully this can come somewhere in between those, if not faster than both of them, which would be mightily impressive. Yeah, because certainly wasn't expecting the Lotus to be all that quick, given it's pretty much the same as this really, a heavy electric hypercar that really shouldn't be going off-road, whereas Extreme E is obviously built for going off-road, so that was expected to be quick, although unlike some off-road vehicles it was a lot quicker than expected in general. A lot of off-road vehicles have been quite slow on this series, so wasn't expecting the greatest things from it, but it did succeed, so that's all good. And obviously this has hilarious amounts of acceleration. About whether or not you can put it down not only on this surface but with those off-road tyres, which do offer less grip on the normal road but obviously offer more here. Yeah, that's the furthest we've ever soared in a car, I feel. Oh dear, probably a little bit too much in fact. We'll have to use a couple of our rewinds there. Slam on the brakes before as we hit the ground. I feel like, because it's my user error and it's not the car's error, I'm going to have to rewind further, because that's just going to screw up the time completely for the car. So we are going to slow down quite a lot to make up for the extra use of a rewind, but we do have no more rewinds left, so that's another punishment as well, on top of slowing down quite considerably before the jump. So yeah, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Some cars are so hilariously quick over that jump that they will go soaring quite far, but obviously because this is a really rather aerodynamic car, it was cutting through the air really rather nicely, so it flew even further. So yeah, but I have punished the car, no more rewinds, and it was quite slow over the jump, so a lot slower than a lot of cars in fact. So it's had a punishment for that extra rewind, but we're going to gain more time from the punishment than we would have if we'd have just gone ahead with it. There's no way we would have made it through the checkpoint and would have had to reset regardless. Yeah, it's proving everything else is quite good on this car on here. It's just very easy to let the acceleration of this car get away from you, because it's not the normal kind of acceleration that you're used to. Because it's so quiet, you just don't realise how quick you're going until you actually look at the speedometer, which I rarely do on this series, because I'm concentrating obviously on driving such a technical course. Well, 170 down there though, that was quite tricky to keep a hold of there. Well, we're going to be the fastest electric car that we've had on this series so far, and in fact at 3 minutes 11.659 we now have a new champion. For the longest time the Hot Wheels 2 Jets has been at the top at 3 minutes 12.134, but we've just about beaten that, and that is despite the punishment of going quite slow over that jump. As you saw, we're only going about 110. A lot of cars are going a lot quicker than that over that jump. So yeah, the punishment, despite the punishment and despite me using all the rewinds, that is a hilariously quick time. So yeah, not only is that quicker than the 2 Jets, which like I said has been at the top of the leaderboard for a very long time, but that's more than 4 seconds quicker than the Lotus Evija, and nearly 5 seconds quicker than the Extreme E number 44, X44. So yeah, that is really, really quick, and yeah, it just shows how hilariously quick these the acceleration on these EV cars can be, especially when they're as extreme as this. So yeah, that is a big surprise. It's as quick as it is. I was expecting it to be more around the time of the Lotus Evija or the Extreme E. Certainly wasn't expecting it to be massively quicker than either of them, but certainly wasn't also expecting it to be the fastest vehicle that we've had by some quite considerable margin. As yeah, that's nearly half a second quicker than the 2 Jets, which was a hilariously quick car in its own right, even though that was nowhere near as powerful as this, but it weighed so little and it was using its power so nicely on the off-road conditions that it was as quick as it was. But this just had so much power that it was overcoming any of its flaws, and yeah, it's great to see that an EV has been able to top the leaderboard. I don't think we've had an EV top the leaderboard before. I don't even think the Lotus Evija was the quickest car that we had on the series when that ran on this series. So yeah, get out and try this car on off-road, it seems, because it is far better than you'd expect it to be. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.